In 2006, Maria del Carmen became the oldest woman in the world to give birth to twins. She was 66 years old when she got pregnant and became mother to two fully functional and naturally developed twins. For her, late motherhood was a choice. She went through in vitro fertilization. The IVF, or in vitro fertilization, is a complex procedure that involves collecting mature eggs from a woman's ovaries, fertilizing them with sperm in a lab, and then placing one or more fertilized eggs called embryos in the uterus. According to her, she wanted to pursue a sustainable career before she had a family. So, she spent her best years working and started a family when her body was barely functioning from old age. And though she was happy with her decision to be a late mother, fate had other plans for her. After only 3 years, she died when her twins were toddlers. And because the twins were conceived through IVF, there was no parental figure left to take care of them. No father in the picture of a happy family. The major cause of her death was her own choice to be pregnant. Her withered old body could not recover from the shocks of pregnancy and birth. Day by day, her condition worsened till she died and left her twins alone in the world. These days, most women are subconsciously and consciously doing the same thing, and they have no idea about it. The corporate culture, especially in the USA, glorifies women who prioritize career over motherhood. Even the media industry is doing the same thing. Hollywood is spilling with films and dramas where women choose their career first and motherhood later in life. And sure, everyone has a right to be independent, but for women, it's a lose-lose situation. How? Back in the 90s, women knew that they had to marry early if they wanted to start a family. So, they pursued careers and demanded that the workplaces introduce daycare facilities and pay raises, among many other benefits. But capitalism did not agree with these demands. So instead of changing itself, the corporate culture started hiring males instead of females for major job openings. Women who are rarely treated equally in the corporate world started facing another discrimination against them. How unfair was this, huh? As a solution, and more like a temporary fix, medical specialists came up with a way to help these women. The solution was egg freezing. Women could freeze their eggs, pursue a career, and then give birth in their 40s and 50s. But was it really a solution? Women are supposed to give birth in the prime of their age. Otherwise, there can be complications with pregnancy and childbirth. But the medical specialists instilled a fear in women that their time to birth is ticking away. That they cannot give birth after 30 years, and if they want to give birth after 30 years of age, then they need to have their eggs frozen at their prime age. When the concept of egg freezing was introduced, so many women fell for it. After all, they were desperate for a solution that allowed them to pursue a healthy career and start a family later. Even the smartest women choose to have their eggs frozen. But what they did not know is that egg freezing is a scam that cheats the dollars off of women's purse. According to medical specialists, there's only a 50% chance that egg freezing might work. Sounds like a scam, right? Well, it is a scam. Whether late or early, a woman's body has the ability to give birth on its own, without any egg freezing, naturally. Do men lose their fertility after their age? No. Then how come women will? Fertility is not dependent on age. If you're fertile from the start, you're sure to stay fertile till the end. Not only are women paying for a scam, but they're also pursuing themselves for a hard life by choosing late motherhood. As evident from the case of Maria del Carmen, it is not wise to become a woman when your body has no strength left in it. Sure, it sounds like a miracle to be able to give birth to a child at an old age, but what's the use? If you want children, there are easier and safer options. Adoption, for instance. Childbirth is not easy. The body breaks in so many points and stretches beyond its capacity just to give birth, and it is not safe when you're aged. It's barely safe when you're in your prime. History and literature are filled with so many cases and stories of women who died in labor because their body could not bear the pain and demanding agony of childbirth. If the woman in prime cannot give birth properly, what makes you think a woman in her old age can? And for the sake of argument, if an old woman does successfully give birth like Maria del Carmen and does not die from the shock, what's next? Do you think an old woman can feed and play with a baby or a toddler? Of course not. And if you think hiring a nanny is the solution to this, then what's the point of giving birth in the first place? Another bad thing about egg freezing that solidifies it as a scam is that it has to be done continuously. That's right, you have to keep paying to store and freeze your eggs. Every year, again and again and again. And because it is super expensive, you're just paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every year for a 50% surety that you will be able to give birth later in life. What's more, the saddest part about the scam is that women of all diversities and cultures are falling for it. Take the example of Daljinder Kaur, who had her eggs frozen and became a mother at a ripe age of 73. She also chose IVF to become a mother, and just like Maria, pregnancy was not kind to her body. Daljinder Kaur is an Indian, a nation that marries its women young. She said that she had no regrets, that she chose this lifestyle with her free will. However, women like her are unaware that this lifestyle and choice of late motherhood is imposed on them by the media and corporate culture. Needless to say, Daljinder never recovered from the shocks of childbirth. Her body was unable to cope with so many changes. She died next year, leaving her child alone with her 70-something husband. Still, the media portrays cases like Maria and Daljinder in glory. And why shouldn't it? It wants to direct women towards late motherhood. The media washes the minds of young girls that they can choose motherhood whenever they want. For this, it tells them about 70 or 60 years old women giving birth, but does not reflect on the fact that they died 2 or 3 years later. But what if you decide to become a mother at 40 or 50? Is late motherhood still bad for you? Psychology shows that late motherhood can lead to sociological, medical, and psychological issues even if you are only 50 or 40. At this age, there is a high chance of childbirth complications. You are at risk of miscarriages and premature birth, and worse is the fact that 50% of the time, children are born with defects if the mother decides to choose a late motherhood lifestyle. And these women only feel confident about pregnancy and motherhood in the first 8 months. Afterwards, they lose interest in their children and get tired easily. They feel suffocated by the demands of their children and fail to maintain a healthy mother-child relationship that helps their baby grow and develop perfectly. It puts the health of both mother and the child at risk. After all, let's face it, parenting is hard, and when you are 40 or 50, you need to slow down and relax. So at this age, you are unable to keep up with the wild curiosity and high energy of children. You tire fast and get aggressive towards the children. According to a survey, most women who become pregnant at the age of 40 or onwards regret their decision. Besides, childbirth is not a task that you tick-check as you age. If you want to nurture a happy family, it needs to be a priority that comes on top of everything else, especially a career. So, while the media keeps portraying housewives as something terribly bad, it is on you to know better and not be fooled into breeding later. And even if your first passion is your career, you need to demand that the workspace accommodates your maternity needs. Most of the woman-run industries and companies in the USA know this. That's why they have reformed policies that allow the woman to work from home while pregnant and give them days off and allowances while they go through childbirth. Women-run workspaces empower women to make healthy life decisions and pursue their career in a healthier way. Scams like egg freezing need to be removed from society, especially from the minds of women. The media should educate women on the dangers of late motherhood instead of the glory of being a career woman who can choose to be a mother whenever and wherever. Do you think it is okay for women to pursue their careers first and think about starting a family when their body is no longer able to keep up? Leave your thoughts regarding egg freezing and late motherhood in the comments.